Hello mga katribu and welcome to another inspiring episode of PairFect. I am Francine.
Hello, I am Dina. And yes, it's an inspiring Wednesday, especially because we are joined by a man who worked his way to achieving his dreams.
Nice.
Mhm.
Let us welcome the President and Managing Director of Don Revy Philippines Inc., Mr. Jojo Vega.
Yeah, hi. Thank you. Thank you,
Hello,
Francine.
good
Thank you, Dina, for having me.
afternoon. Thanks for taking the
Nice to meet
time. Oo
you.
nga.
Nice to meet you as well.
We have to ask you a lot of questions. And the first one
All
would
right.
be, how has 2021 been so far for you? We're already in our last quarter.
Well, just like 2020, for the whole industry and the categories we play in, it has really been very tough.
Mm.
We're not an essential category, and you know that wines and spirits, they're not food. So we really had a hard time adjusting to the pandemic because one third of our sales actually come from hotels and restaurants and bars. And as you all know, these channels actually are closed most of the time because the hotels are mostly on quarantine. The restaurants are also partially open sometimes closed. So it has really been a very challenging 2 years so far since the lockdown started last year. But we're holding up. We're holding up.
Parang feeling ko debatable yung essential eh.
Oo. Depends on whose perspective.
Di ba?
Diba? Depende sa POV.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jojo, can you give us a short background about Don Revy Philippines? When did you launch it and why did you come up with this business?
Well, I've always been a corporate person. I worked with corporate for like 32 years. I joined a lot of companies, both local and multinational. So we founded Don Revit last 2013. I have two foreign partners. They're also good friends of mine. We decided to go into the wine and spirits category because we think the Filipino nation is actually a beer drinking country, so might as well introduce wines and spirits with them. So we're going now. We're on our 8th year now, to be exact.
Wow,
Almost 9 years. Next. Thank you,
Congratulations.
thank you.
And who is Don Revy?
Oh, that's a long story actually because I have two Scottish partners, and Revy came from Devi. Bevi
Devi.
actually spelled Bevvy, and in Scottish term or English term, that actually means alcoholic drinks. And so they wanted to call it Bevi, but then and one of them actually said, since you were under the Spaniards for 400 years, why don't we call it Don Bevi? And they said, no, it's not sounding right, so let's just make it Revy. I mean, no etymology there, no marketing, just purely just the wordsmithing and just the playful partners of mine actually doing the Don Revy thing.
It just sounded right, I
Oo, but
suppose.
it's
Yeah.
quite a recall already, ha? Don Revy.
Don Revy.
Yeah.
Don Revy. Parang mayaman eh, no? Parang,
Exactamento.
yeah.
Pero Jojo, 19 months into the pandemic, what lessons and practices have you adopted at Don Revy Philippines?
Well, you know what? They've always been talking about pivots. A week into the pandemic last year, I keenly remember the date. The lockdown started March 17. So as early as March 24, we were already thinking of doing another business model, doing some pivots. During the lockdown, no one actually can go out. So we did a lot of distribution models that are not within the traditional ways of doing things. So we started delivering straight to consumers, to residences, and that has actually been a big part of our distribution system since last year.
Okay.
Of course, it's also given that we did online. And we embraced the whole digital transformation as early as last year when we set up our own e-commerce site. Before Don Revy was just a social site, and now it's a fully functioning e-commerce site. And of course, we partnered with Lazada and Shopee Boozy, Winery, and all of the online alcoholic drinks partners that we have. So it's just a matter of, looking at another business model. So you have to survive.
Right.
But Don Revy started out as a retail shop for wines and spirits.
Brick and mortar. ganun.
When it started, or
No,
distribution again?
actually our core business, Francine and Dina, we're an importer. We're importers and distributors of wine and spirits and beers. So our core business is distribution to hotels, restaurants, and bars, and also some supermarkets, and even convenience stores like 7-Eleven. Our retail shop also acts as a showroom, but that's not our core business. So para lang siyang showroom. We're mostly an importer and a distributor of wine, beers, and
I
spirits.
see.
But were there particular countries na you were distributing from? You said you had Scottish partners?
Now, we started with just one country in 2013 with New Zealand wines. Now we're representing 10 countries, wines from 10 countries and 31 wine regions.
Wow.
And we also added the categories on beer and spirits. Of course, the spirits namin, we should have whiskey because my friends and partners are Scottish people. So we have whiskey from Scotland.
Yeah.
So did your merchandise actually increase over the pandemic, or did it happen before that?
It actually happened before that, but there were some negotiations and some new products actually came in after the lockdown. So para we negotiated a lot of our new products tapos biglang lockdown, di ba? So where will we now sell all of these new products and our existing? That's why we have to really remodel and be innovative in the way we do things.
Yeah. So how were sales like during the early days of the pandemic when hotels were closed and restaurants were closed? So
Ay
how
nako,
did
maiiyak ka, Dina and Francine. Because, if your traditional sales channels are supermarkets and hotels and restaurants, and if you combine all of this, they represent 95% of your business or more than that.
Wow.
Diba? And if they don't operate, you're essentially having no revenues at all that are coming in. And of course, being a business, you have to pay fixed costs, diba? You have to pay the rent, you have to pay the salaries, you have to pay fuel, you have to pay utilities. So it's really very hard. That's why, we had to really think out of the box, so to speak, during that time. And until now, we're still innovating, making sure that we don't miss out on any opportunities. Because the consumers actually also behave differently before the pandemic and now. So they're now more adept into, online ordering, so doing digital payments as opposed to before when they go to the shop or they deposit. So I think the whole pandemic revolutionized and accelerated the digital transformation of the whole e-commerce industry here.
Yes.
But when did you exactly realize that sales were back, business was back?
Well, to be honest, I've not experienced that. The sales before the pandemic are still higher than now, but we're still thankful that we're still here because realistically, a lot of the businesses actually closed last year and even this year, and being still operational is a blessing to us already. So what we're doing is we're just doing a lot of cost cutting on the fixed cost. Like in my case, I had to cut my salaries. So,
Adjust.
Siyempre, I know you have many friends, Jojo. Wala bang nag-request, pwede bang magpuslit ng drinks from your company?
I can say that on air. but definitely, definitely it felt like prohibition. It felt like prohibition last year because,
That's a good
you
one.
can't yeah, and you can't say no to people, especially your friends, who actually
Yeah.
order from you, and they already paid, and they tell you, "Look, I've paid already. Please find a way to deliver the wine straight to our residences." So we have to really, and being very customer centric, we need to really address that, no matter the risk.
Oh, just to be
Oo.
clear, mga katribo, those are from the personal collection of
Yes.
Jojo.
At saka sinabi
Hindi
ko
siya
na nga,
official transaction.
essential siya
Oo.
for mental health, you know.
Barter deal. Personal collection, Jojo.
Saka yung wine, pinapahid daw sa, ano eh, kaya alcohol din
Ah,
siya.
yeah, alcohol.
To sanitize our our
Or inside.
Oo.
Yeah.
Bahay alak.
So do you see this, you mentioned earlier na parang it has changed the way people shop for drinks or even go drinking, di ba? They drink at home now or
Yeah.
in bubbles. So do you see this changing anytime, even after the pandemic, or it will be part of something new na rin for you?
Well, this year I think, personally, I think, I hope we will not go back into the ECQ and MECQ. The way I understand it, I think the government, the reason why they came up with this alerts 4, 3, 2, 1 is we will not go into hard lockdowns anymore, but do granular lockdowns. So we're hoping, that the economy will be back. People will be more confident going out, boosting consumption, opening up the economy. But even after this, I think being consuming alcohol in the house will be part and parcel already of the behavior of people even after the pandemic.
I see.
Yeah.
I have a question. What about the price changes? Was it flexible? Did it were there
Change.
erratic changes in
Yeah.
increase and increase
Oh,
or
yeah,
decrease because of the demand?
During the pandemic, because we source from all over the globe, all over the world, and we have suppliers from Europe, suppliers from South America, US, Australia, New Zealand. The world shipping routes have become extremely difficult now. What do I mean? Because there are no direct shipments of wine and spirits coming from the other countries. So every shipment have to go through transshipment ports like Singapore, Hong Kong, Korea, some of them, before they are actually being shipped to Manila. But because of the pandemic, a lot of the shipping companies have also experienced difficulties with the crisis. They have to lay off employees. Some actually closed shop. Containers have not been circulating. So we have experienced a lot of delays. In the course of these delays, nagmahal yung kumbaga yung pamasahe from the suppliers all the way to Manila, and because of all of these fixed costs, then we're forced to also increase our prices. And of course the customers are not happy, but we don't also have any choice except to increase the price.
Yeah, that's understandable.
That's economics. Diba? The business of the
Yeah.
economics.
Ang problema pa naman sa Pinoy consumer, one of the characteristics of a Pinoy consumer is being very, very price sensitive.
Kuripot
Diba?
nga eh.
they want the good brands, they want the best ones, but they don't want to pay
Oo.
for the brand.
Pero dapat yung pandemic should have taught people, to
Appreciate
the fine things in life, because you never know.
I guess
what's
there's a
gonna-
market naman who'll pay premium, because they know the quality of the drink.
Yes. There are really different segments of the market that you need to communicate or talk to. And they have different needs, right?
Ang dami na nating natutunan about the industry, no? The behind the scenes.
Nalasing na ba kayo?
Malapit, tipsy pa lang kami.
Tipsy pala.
Which means we have a lot of things to talk about pa. But before
Sure.
that, let's pause for a commercial break first. And
All right.
we'll be right back with
Okay.
Jojo.
Magpabakuna kayo.
This public service advisory is brought to you by Daily Tribune and 100.3 RJFM.
Magandang araw mga katribo! Narito na ang mga makakasama nyo tuwing umaga sa programang Gising Na. Roy Pelevelo, Compi Manalo, Chinky Mangkukang, Vernon Velasco, Kim Sancha at Chirk Balagtas. Abangan ang programang Gising Na mula alas 8 hanggang alas 9 ng umaga sa Facebook page ng Daily Tribune.
Ilabas ng mainit na kape at samahan kami sa inyong pag-almusal, mga katribo.
Sama-sama natin alamin ang mga natatagong istorya sa mga latest na kaganapan sa loob at labas ng bansa.
Simulan ang bawat umaga with good vibes sa mga informative and recreational segments dito sa ating programa.
Maaari niyo rin ibahagi sa amin ang inyong opinion via Daily Tribune Facebook page at Tribune Now sa YouTube.
Makichika na rin sa latest showbiz happenings mga katribo.
Kaya naman, magkita-kita po tayo mula Lunes hanggang Biyernes alas 8 hanggang alas 9 ng umaga at magsama-sama po tayo sa
Gising Na!
Magpabakuna kayo.
Hello, we're back. I'm Francine and I'm with Dinah. We're having a very spirited conversation with Don Revy Philippines, Mr. Jojo Vega. Hello, hello.
Hi, Jojo. Welcome back.
Welcome.
Hiya, welcome back.
So, Jojo, tell us more about Don Revy Philippines, your team. How big is your group?
Well, we're really not necessarily big, Dina. We're still considered an MSME because there are only about 15 employees of Don Revy. We have a sales and a marketing team. We have, of course, back office operations, including finance and HR. And we have a supply chain. So it's essentially a small group. So maliit pa kami. And ako mismo yung managing director, but I also handle accounts.
Oh, okay.
So,
Multitask.
nagbibenta rin ako sa mga kaibigan.
But do you feel that you have to handle the accounts personally? Or does it add up because you're the managing director, you're the owner?
Yeah, some of them actually request. Or of course, when customers request, you can't say no. Siguro sanay sila when they deal with me, the decisions are faster. Like if they order now, they want the delivery to be an hour after. So parang, okay. So medyo spoiled sila, Dina and Francine. And that's okay because being a small company, it also felt it's our advantage to be fast and agile compared to the more established and bigger ones. Because, you know, when you're a big organization, like where I came from, the big companies, sometimes, you know, the decisions are a bit slow and the responses or actions of the business unit also is a bit slow. So we're taking advantage of that. So if you go to our website, our mission is creating happy customers every day. And we guarantee next day delivery within Metro Manila.
Okay. Lean and mean machine.
Yeah. Lean and mean. Yun ang natutunan ko sa business. Kasi pag empleyado ka, di ba, you're not worried about budget that much. Kasi every 15th and 30th, you get paid. But being an entrepreneur now, you have to sell first before you get the cash to pay for salaries, to pay for rent, to pay for utilities. So the dynamics are actually very different.
How widespread are your deliveries? Is it nationwide?
Yeah, we do nationwide deliveries, although through third partners. Of course, when you do nationwide deliveries, the prices actually are a bit higher because you pay for sea freight, especially if it's going to Visayas and Mindanao or even outside of Metro Manila. But within Metro Manila, it's pretty much what riders you pay for riders. But if you're ordering at least 2,000 pesos from us, the delivery within Metro Manila is actually free.
Oh, pwede.
Okay.
Yeah, free.
Siguro
Free na yun.
whiskey, tapos may ano.
Isa ano lang yon, black label, double black.
Ganyan, black label, yes.
Ano ba yung drinks nyo? Dina, what's your go-to drink?
Oh, wine.
Anything.
Oh, wine.
Depends on the mood.
Anything. Exactly.
Depends on the mood. Kasi diba some
Okay.
you want to sip.
I'm
some
not
you
much
just
of a
want to
beer
chill.
drinker though.
Depends on the food. Sometimes I pay it
True.
also, diba?
Oh.
Speaking
True.
of,
Yeah.
Speaking of beer,
yes.
may tanong ka.
Oo. What's your take on the growing breed of locally crafted distillers and beer brewers right now? Kasi ako, I order online, pero I want to experiment also on the local ones.
Yeah, actually very interesting yung selection, di ba?
Diba? Ang dami na nila. Whiskey,
Yeah.
gin, beer. What's your take on this?
Yeah, probably you're talking about the craft or the artisanal drinks like
Yes.
local craft beer.
Yes.
There are also craft gins in the
Yes.
market. I think, the craft beer started about 2018, but it has slowed down a bit, because because 95% of the beer market is San Miguel, and I also came from San Miguel. I stayed there for about 15 years, and that was my first job. So having been used to just seeing San Miguel 95% of the time, and the other 4% to another local brand, the 1% actually is shared by all imported premium beers. I thought the movement began in America and in Europe. And, we're quite actually fast to adopt to all of these changes in the global scene. And, the Philippine beer market and the Philippine population actually is a beer drinking population. So the evolution of the craft beer here was a bit fast. So we have a lot of local craft beers now, and these are specialized ones. Para handmade yan. Limited limited quantities, artisanal. It's supposed to be handmade. It's supposed to be made more special. The ingredients are more pure. And all of those things that you need to consider. Para siyang artisanal cheese or artisanal bread.
Okay, yes.
Do you think we have a big chance of maybe putting it out there? I mean, the global market, our crafted beers and maybe
Well,
artisan
depends
spirits?
siguro on the category. Like beer, internationally, beer kasi is a big category, and you have big players out there in the market. So it's so hard to really compete with the big players, because even if it's a local, or even if it's a craft beer, it's still a beer, right? So it still belongs to the category of beer.
Yes.
So you're really competing not only with the craft beer of the other countries, but also the mainstream beer brands of those countries. So medyo mahirap siya. I think one classic example is we have a local rum now. I won't say the name. It's a local rum. It's an artisanal rum, but that's doing well in the
Abroad.
international markets.
Yes.
And probably because rum is not as big a category as
Beer.
as
That's right.
wine.
Right.
So alam mo naman, di ba, when you see a unique looking bottle, for example, at the bar, on the shelves, and you say, oh, what's that? That looks nice. Can I try that? And if you hear that this comes from the Philippines and it's made from this sugarcane or this ingredients, you sort of like get curious about it, and it becomes word of mouth. And alam mo naman, pag drinks kasi, it's sensorial. People are visual. That's why on the shelves, whichever products look nicer on the shelves have better chances of being purchased than those who are actually not as attractive.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Yes, I
Agree.
agree. And plus, I think, the fact that there are companies like Don Revy Philippines, it really elevated the taste of the Filipinos, to explore other drinks, whether it's local or international. Parang nagiging more
Yeah. And
experimental
I think
tayo sa taste natin.
Yeah, and I think it was also a function of the travels before the pandemic. A lot of people Filipinos, young and old, they go out of the Philippines and they get to try new products and new concepts in the other countries, right? As opposed to during my time, there are not much new products out there. So even if you travel in the other countries, medyo limited pa yung mga range. But if you go out, if you went out before the pandemic, you'll see a lot of varieties, a lot of products, a lot of categories, a lot of concepts that are being introduced. Pati nga yung, di ba, yung single malt, biglang sumikat yung single malt, right? Before it was just blended whiskey. But now, alam mo naman ng Pinoy, di ba? Kung uso sa kaibigan ko, dapat makiuso rin ako.
Parang naging mas sophisticated yung taste profile or whatever you call it. Pero ikaw, Jojo, ano naman yung preference mo? What's your what has been your drink journey? Ganun eh.
Kung ako si Dina, sasabihin ko, depends on my mood.
Ako yun.
Si Francine yun eh.
And the
Si Francine ba yun?
And the painting.
No, I think I'd be biased towards beer because I was with San Miguel for 15 years. But you know, for the last 8 years, or for the last 10 years, I've always been a wine drinker.
Ayun,
I've
so kaya
always-
tayo.
I've appreciated wine now, and that's why I took the business seriously. I even took courses
Wow.
about wine, and it teaches you about all of the different grape varietals, all of the taste profiles, the aromas. How do you look? Whether a wine looks good. Does it also smell good? Does it taste good? So you have all, they teach you all of those techniques.
Yeah. So Jojo, you said yourself you've been in this industry for many years now. So you've seen it grow, you've seen it change and evolve, diba? So would you say this pandemic has been your greatest challenge so far?
Oh yeah, it has been, I think, the most challenging. Financially, mentally. Yeah, it has really been very challenging. You wouldn't imagine last year, I was even doing deliveries myself. Wow. Yeah. So, sabi ko nga, wow, nag-retire ako sa corporate, tapos I'll be doing the deliveries. I'll load the wines, drive, deliver the wines. So you get to continue the revenue, but that's part of all of the challenges of being a businessman. And wala, you need to really adopt, otherwise sink or swim ka di ba?
Tama. Parang at the end of the day, sabihin ni Jojo, I need a drink.
After that. Yeah. So
Yes.
Jojo,
Tapos, yeah.
go ahead.
No, sorry, sige, go ahead.
People have been talking about revenge travel, revenge shopping after the pandemic. Do you think there'll also be revenge drinking? But before you answer that, we'll pause for a commercial break.
Okay.
Welcome back to PairFect. Still with us now is Don Revy Philippines Incorporated President Jojo Vega.
Yes.
So,
hello.
Francine.
Hello.
Yeah, before we had our break, I was asking you, people were saying, after this pandemic, we'll do revenge travel, we'll do revenge shopping. What about revenge drinking? Do you think that will happen?
Well, alam mo, I felt that. But that was more of last year. 3 months into the pandemic, people started to spend. Probably the mindset then, Dina and Francine, was, well, this is going to just last for a few months. So, I can still spend. But 1 year after the pandemic now, I think people now starts to think, is there an end to the pandemic? So if they have savings before, or if they have a lot of savings before. A year into the pandemic now, we're over a year, and no end in sight for the pandemic. People are still like, will I spend now or will I save? Right. So probably the revenge spending already happened. I'm not sure if it's going to happen again.
Good point.
Yeah. Siyempre ngayon, people don't see any end in sight there, Francine and Dina. As opposed to last year, sinasabi nila, well, this is just going to be for a few months. So might as well spend, might as well buy this alcohol, buy this wine, buy this online, or I need to look good, I need to have a new pair of shoes. Pero over a year now and you don't see any end in sight, di ba? So parang mag-iisip ka na.
Plus, I think there were some shifts in lifestyles like the inuman, di ba? The Zoom
even
titas
the inuman, the virtual classes were a hit last year.
Yes.
Siyempre, diba, you don't see one another. Pero parang naging sawa na rin sila eh.
Yes. Fatigue. Zoom fatigue. So anyway, let's get to know Jojo better.
Yes.
Wala tayong drinks, pero we'll try to play a game with you. We have what we call fast talk, where we ask you different scenarios and you have to answer quickly.
Okay. Wala si Tito Boy?
Wala siya.
Unfortunately, walang sex and chocolates question dito. Unfortunately. But anyway, first question. Wine or whiskey?
Wine.
Why? Ganun eh, may ganun.
May ganon. Qualify.
Are you serious? I'll qualify. Yeah, because it's more of the experience. It's more of the history that comes into the drink.
Okay. First ever liquor drink and at what age?
It was beer, and I was 15 in high school.
Really?
No more said.
Hindi ako naniniwala. Okay.
Top 3 drinks you must have in your drink pantry.
Wine, beer, and maybe whiskey.
Basics.
Yeah.
Basics yon.
Basics.
Okay.
Of course, water, di ba? But that doesn't count.
Unless there's a miracle that happened. It turns into wine.
Okay, fill in the blank. Happy hour is blank.
Happy hour is having a good time with friends.
Ayan. So anytime is a happy hour. Okay.
Eto. Movie character you'd love to have a drink with.
Siyempre, kailangan babae, di ba?
Ewan ko sa'yo.
I'd love to drink with Monica Bellucci. I'm not sure if you know her. Yeah. Baka she's too old for you.
Hindi.
She's the Italian, she's really an Italian beauty during my time.
Wow.
Pero ngayon siguro si Megan Fox.
Pwede.
I thought you'd say James Bond.
Pwede.
Nakasama yung Bond girl, of course. Okay,
Yeah.
three real people you'd love to have a drink with.
Alive or ano?
Basta hindi sila character, parang real people siya.
Real people. Of course, my dad, my late dad, of course. Then my brothers, and of course my friends. Yeah, although generic, sorry for that.
Okay. 3 groups. Okay.
Parang may sense of nostalgia to si Jojo.
Oo nga eh. Parang gusto niya memory lane or something.
Oo, ganyan talaga pag tumatanda na Dina, Francine. You get to be sentimental.
But it's good. It means you value the people you've been with.
Right.
Yeah. I'm a lolo already, so
Cheers to that.
Cheers.
Ito naman, your go-to pandemic drink.
wine.
Okay.
Is there any particular kind that you prefer?
I like Sauvignon Blanc for wine, and I like Cabernet Sauvignon for red.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any country of origin?
Yeah, do you prefer?
Sauvignon Blanc, I like New Zealand.
Yes.
Then Cabernet Sauvignon, of course, I like French.
Yeah.
Oh,
The best.
sige.
Okay. First drink you'll have the day after the pandemic is finally over. Dream.
Wine again, sorry.
But what kind?
Will it be Sauvignon Blanc or
Oo.
Well, I think it has to
Champagne.
be red.
I'm sorry.
Champagne, yeah, pwede. Yeah, champagne. I like Prosecco better.
Okay.
Oh,
Prosecco.
Yeah, it's also a sparkling drink. Not the same as champagne, but it's also classified as a sparkling drink.
A little sweeter, I think, right?
Oh, tsaka celebration with a bubbly. It's like a bubbly drink.
Yes, it is.
And,
Yeah.
gusto ko itanong,
Oh, tanong mo na yan.
best hangover cure?
Just the usual, di ba? Before you go to sleep, make sundot your and you have to like throw it all out. Otherwise, ako I like to when I drink a lot of water also, so to dilute the alcohol in my system.
A good
Wala ka
advice
bang
yon.
food? Like bulalo or tomato soup or whatever?
Pares for you.
Sabi mo iba eh, pares, whatever.
Kasi the oil actually makes it even more difficult eh. So it actually
I
worsens
agree.
the situation.
Water is still the best.
Yeah, water is still the best.
Okay. Oh, ito last.
Yung iba, they mix cold water and energy drink.
Oh, that's new.
Okay. We can
Is that a 50-50?
from the expert.
Parang may plano ka. Anyway.
Oh, when you have time, I'd like to invite you to our showroom.
Oh, sure.
Sige. We'd love that. Diba?
Oh, last to. Favorite
Sure.
quote about drinking.
Nako, favorite quote about drinking. Drink today as if it were your last.
Oh, very, very appropriate.
Say
to the
for
time.
each glass or shot.
Yes. Talk to your
Or drink your place, my place. Ganun lang yun.
Okay, so that
Hindi
was
pa tayo
fun.
umiinom niyan na
Oo
with
nga,
Jojo.
paano
So,
na-
already saying those things.
Thank
Don't forget that you
Jojo.
have an open invitation to drop by the showroom.
Yeah, we'll go with Poch,
Oh,
no?
with Poch.
Yeah, of course. Poch has been to our place, I think, more than a couple of times already.
All right. Game.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jojo.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for having me again, Dinah and Francine.
Ikaw, would you like to give us your parting shot for
For
our viewers?
siguro invite them also
Yeah.
to your show.
Yeah, I mean, we're on Chino Roses Avenue Extension. You can also look us up at www.donrevy.com. We'll be happy to host you. You'll enjoy a lot of good wines from all over the world, and we also serve draft beer in our showroom, and of course, a lot of spirits. You'll definitely enjoy the flavored gins, Dinah and Francine, and I look forward to hosting you there.
Okay.
sige.
Maybe tonight. Joke lang.
Oh.
Joke.
It's hump day.
I know, right? Anyway,
Well,
speaking of
for
hump
joining
day.
us today, Jojo, and for the
Thank you.
inspiration and fun that you shared with us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
We really had fun having you in the show, and we hope to see more of you in our next
Yeah.
episodes.
Well, thank you, and good luck to you guys, and please take care and keep safe always.
Thank you.
All right.
So there you have it, our dear Katribo viewers. Watch PairFect Live every Wednesday at 2 p.m. on Daily Tribune's official Facebook page and on Tribune Now on YouTube for the replay of the latest edition.
I'm Dina,
And I am Francine.
and this has been
PairFect.
Thank you.